Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you a special report on the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump extended a ceasefire with Iran, Iranian forces have launched attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical waterways. We'll take you through the latest developments and explore the implications for global food security and the delicate balance of power in the region. Our top stories include Iran's seizure of 2 ships, the fight over the strait, and Trump's escalating conflict with Iran. Following a surprise move by U.S. President Donald Trump to extend a ceasefire with Iran, tensions have escalated in the region with reports of naval attacks. In a significant escalation, Iran has seized and attacked ships in the Strait of Hormuz just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump announced an indefinite ceasefire. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, claimed that 2 container ships, MSC Francesca and Epaminondas, had been detained for alleged maritime violations. These vessels were reportedly captured for operating without required authorization and manipulating navigation systems. The Iranian government has taken these actions while warning that disrupting order and safety in the Strait of Hormuz is considered a red line. A third vessel, Euphoria, is also reported to be stranded off the Iranian coast after coming under attack. U.S. President Trump announced the ceasefire extension on Tuesday, stating that it would remain in place until Iran's leadership could come up with a unified plan for a longer-term agreement. However, this development has been met with skepticism from Tehran. Pakistan has suggested that peace talks could take place as early as Friday, but Iran has refused to engage in further discussions. The Pakistani sources told the New York Post that the next round of negotiations were set to take place within 36 to 72 hours, but so far, there is no indication that Iran will participate. This latest escalation marks yet another challenge to efforts to de-escalate tensions between the U.S. and Iran. The Strait of Hormuz remains a critical waterway for global oil trade, and any disruption could have significant economic implications. The situation highlights the complexities of international relations and the difficulties in negotiating peace agreements with countries like Iran that are deeply entrenched in their positions. We're now shifting our focus to a developing crisis in the Middle East, where tensions between nations have escalated with Iran taking a significant step. A significant escalation has unfolded in the Middle East, with Iran seizing 2 ships in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, according to state media. The Epaminondas and MSC Francesca were reportedly transferred to Iranian coastlines by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which warned that disrupting order and safety in the strait is considered a red line. This development comes after reports of 2 ships and a third vessel coming under attack in the region earlier today. The UK Maritime Trade Operations and BBC had confirmed these incidents, with Iranian media identifying the third ship as the Euphoria, which is said to be stranded off the coast of Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump has extended the current ceasefire with Iran at Pakistan's request, while awaiting a unified proposal from Tehran. However, the U.S. military maintains its blockade of Iranian ports. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghaei acknowledged the ceasefire extension, but did not confirm whether Tehran is ready to attend new talks in Islamabad. The 10-day ceasefire is set to expire on Sunday, with Lebanon requesting a 1-month truce extension when Lebanese and Israeli envoys meet for the second time in 2 weeks in Washington tomorrow. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar has urged Lebanon to make joint efforts to counter Hezbollah. Iran's President, Masoud Pezeshkian, has welcomed dialogue and agreement, but criticized truce breaches and the U.S. blockade as major obstacles to genuine negotiations. The situation remains tense, with regional powers engaging in a delicate dance of diplomacy and brinkmanship. We're now taking you to the volatile waters of the Middle East, where a dramatic escalation has unfolded in the crucial Strait of Hormuz. In a tense escalation, Iran's Revolutionary Guards have announced the seizure of 2 cargo ships near the Strait of Hormuz, according to state media reports. The development has heightened tensions between Iran and the United States, which has long sought to assert its control over the strategic waterway. The seized vessels, identified as the Marinallados and the M/T Isabella, were reportedly carrying cargo of Iranian origin from Oman. The Revolutionary Guard seizure is seen as a major blow to global shipping and oil trade, with the Strait of Hormuz being a critical choke point for international maritime traffic. The U.S. has issued a statement condemning the actions, calling on Iran to release the vessels and warning that any further aggression would be met with strong responses. Iranian officials have refused to comment on the specifics of the seizure, but have reiterated their commitment to defending the country's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran have been building for months, with the two nations engaging in a game of cat and mouse over the disputed territory. The United States has imposed sanctions on Iranian oil exports, while Iran has retaliated by seizing U.S. assets abroad. The incident raises concerns about the potential for miscalculations or unintended escalation between the two powers. As the situation continues to unfold, analysts warn that the world is holding its breath, waiting to see how this crisis will play out. A major international effort to stabilize global food supplies has hit a snag, with the UN's fertilizer delivery plan stuck at a critical juncture. The United Nations is facing an increasingly dire situation as its proposal for a humanitarian corridor in the Strait of Hormuz stalls. The plan aims to unblock the vital shipping lane that has been effectively blocked since the start of the Iran war. The UN's top official, Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, has been pushing for the creation of a humanitarian corridor, which would allow essential goods such as fertilizer and food to reach countries in need. However, despite months of negotiations, several key countries have yet to give their backing. Iran and its allies have blockaded the Strait of Hormuz, citing concerns over U.S. military presence in the region. The U.S. and its allies have accused Iran of trying to disrupt global oil supplies and threaten regional stability. The situation has raised fears of a wider conflict that could have catastrophic consequences for global food security. The implications of this standoff are far-reaching. Millions of people in Yemen, Lebanon, and other parts of the Middle East rely on imports through the Strait of Hormuz to survive. If the blockade is not lifted, it could lead to widespread famine and economic devastation. Despite mounting pressure from the international community, the UN's proposal remains stuck. The UN has warned that the situation is becoming increasingly dire by the day. With no clear resolution in sight, hopes are dwindling for a timely solution. The humanitarian crisis deepening in the region hangs precariously in the balance. Tonight, we'll examine the tumultuous timeline of Donald Trump's Iran policy, where ambition clashed with catastrophe, and the consequences remain stark. In an escalation of the Middle East conflict, the U.S. and Israel launched a military assault on Iran, targeting key members of the government and security establishment. The attack, which killed the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, was intended to weaken the Iranian regime and limit its ability to project power outside of its borders. However, the attack has proven to be a strategic failure for the U.S., as it has instead emboldened Iran's hardline faction. Mojtaba Khamenei, the Supreme Leader's son, has taken over as the new leader, and his appointment marks a shift towards a more militarized and anti-Western regime. The attack also led to a significant escalation in regional tensions, with neighboring countries coming under attack from Iranian-backed forces. Furthermore, Iran has discovered and deployed a powerful new weapon, blocking the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that controls access to global oil supplies. Despite the U.S.'s claims of tactical success, the assault has had little impact on Iran's ability to project power. The consequences of this debacle are far-reaching, with global economic implications hanging in the balance. As chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane warned, securing the Strait of Hormuz is an enormous challenge, and blocking it would have catastrophic effects on the global economy. The attack has also raised questions about the competence of U.S. President Donald Trump's foreign policy strategy, particularly his willingness to believe Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over credible intelligence assessments. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. We'll continue to bring you updates on the escalating situation in the Middle East and its impact on global food security. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay informed about the latest developments from around the world. We'll be back with more news tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.